you guys, Coach Libby here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to get this look. Just a nice smoky eye for the competition season, or if you're feeling like just putting makeup on, you're bored in quarantine. You guys can follow this tutorial. I miss you guys so much. Make sure you wash your hands before you start this, and if you want to know how to get this look, then just keep watching. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take you can use any light brown shade, but I'm using the James Charles Morphe palette. And I'm going to be going in with this like really light brown, like taupey shade, just as a base, so that way it seamlessly blends all of the browns that we're going to be using. And that's in the shade Punch Me. It's a little aggressive, but you know, whatever. So I'm just going to pounce into the color, and I'm just going to tap off the excess. As you guys can see, that kind of went like everywhere, but you want to make sure that you tap it off. And then you just want to go in pouncing motions, kind of like placing it right on your eyeball, and then you're going to go in circular motions and blend that out just like that. And go in with a little bit more, and you can build that up however much you want. You just want to be able to see it so that way you know where you're going to be laying your next colors, because this whole thing is really just about layering. As you can see, it's a little bit darker. We're getting there. You don't want it to be super heavy at this point because this is just your transition, but you can build that up as much as you want. Just going in circular motions. You want it to be the heaviest on the outside of your eye. Really pack that color in, and then anything that's left over, swoop it in towards your inner corner. Like windshield wiper, circular. And then to blend, you just circular all over. And I'm just doing like just small circles. Just like this. And then you're gonna do the same thing on the other eye. Also, small disclaimer, I am using the Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH30 brush from Morphe. I don't know how much this is, but I think it's semi-affordable. Their brushes are super, I wouldn't say cheap, but you get what you pay for, and they're not like high name brand, anything like that, but they're good quality brushes, and you can get that on Morphe.com. But for doing this process, I used the JH30 brush. You can't see that at all. Yes, you can. Here we go. Yeah. So that's what you want to use for your transition. Any like fluffy brush that you can just be messy with, so that you can be kind of messy. So next, I'm going to be using, I didn't clean my brushes, no surprise, the JH33 brush. So that's more of like a dense, packed blending brush. It's a smaller brush, so if you look at them side by side, you can definitely tell the difference. This one's way more fluffy, and this one you can concentrate, you know, a different color brown in a smaller area, and that's what we're going to be doing next. So next, I'm going to be using the shade T. And that's going to be this shade right here, a little bit of a darker brown. So this, I definitely want to go in very gently, because a little bit goes a long way. So as you can see, I'm literally just going to do like a 1, 2, 3 and really get the excess color off of that. And then I'm just going to concentrate this right in the outer socket of my eye. And I'm just gently patting that in. Kind of similar to how I was doing before, but I'm letting it kind of tail off a little bit on the side, because once I get that distributed how I want it, and again, I'm literally just patting that in and just smudging a little bit. Just a little bit past, like if you look at your pupil, that's where you want to stop it, is right in line with your pupil. And if you're going to do the windshield wiper motions, be very careful, because you don't want it to be splotchy. So, but make sure that you, like we did in the last clip, you want to put all of the powder in, pack in that color, and then once you feel like it's as dark as you want, you can then carry that into the rest of the eye. I like to blend it up, so I'll go on the line where my transition color was that we used last time, and I will flick that up towards my eyebrow, but just a little bit. You want to do that just so that those two colors can really melt together. And then it'll end up looking something like that. And this I wanted to do a little bit more natural. So if you're wanting to go for something way more smoky, for athletes. I know that when you're on stage, you really want your eyes to pop. So this can definitely go darker, but this is just, you know, a natural look, soft browns. Really, this is about as deep as I normally go. But if I'm at a competition or I'm doing this for a competition, I would probably go in with like the next darkest, which would be the color that's right under it. That's called Benny. I would go in with a little bit of that and do the same process, but I would even use maybe a smaller brush like this one. So the comparison between the two, this one is smaller and it has, it's not as dense. So that way you're a little bit more free with your colors. It's not super packed like this. So if you can see the difference, that's what you want to do. And you flicking that up is also going to create that look like you have that cat eye and like your eyes are lifted. So I'm going to do that on the other eye off camera. Okay, so now that both eyes have the darker brown color, I'm going to go in with that first brush that I used with nothing on it. And I'm just going to go messy. I'm not being neat with this at all. Just right over the edges. So as you can see already, I've only been doing this for like 7 seconds. You can see that this line right here is starting to look a little bit more blended, whereas this side, it's a little bit harsher of that brown. You don't want to be able to see that, or if you do, that's totally fine. But if you're going for just a little bit more of a natural look, you definitely want to blend, 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 blend. If I could give any advice when doing eyeshadow, it's a good base, which all I used was concealer that's a little bit lighter. I went and used, sorry, I have to find it, the Born This Way. So it's definitely lighter than my skin color, and that's what I want because you can see that highlighted brow in the shade Vanilla. So that's what I used. I used this and just a flat eyeshadow brush. This is from MAC. I can't even read this. This is so old. 24. This is the MAC 242S brush. Again, I've had this brush for years, and that's why it's so flat, but like making it super pointy like that. And then I just outline underneath my eyebrow, just like that with concealer. And then I'll blend out the concealer. Use a damp beauty blender, preferably clean, but sorry. And then you just work that down and set it with some powder. I use the Airspun powder. You can literally get this at Walmart for like $4. And I just set my whole eye with that with any sort of like big fluffy brush. I'll set the powder all over that. Make sure that there's any excess powder completely off. And then I just go and do the exact same steps that I've been showing you guys to get up to this point. But the moral of that was, because you want to have the two keys to eyeshadow is blending and a good base. And you can really do just about anything. But like I said, just blending out the edges. And then if you feel like you might have taken away a little bit of the dark, which does happen, don't freak out. Just take that brush again. I like to just use whatever's on it, but if I feel like it's not making a difference, I will go and literally just barely tap. Okay? And I'm kind of doing that in that cat-like motion that I was talking about, making that cat eye, and then I'm gonna go in with that brush again and blend out just the edges. I don't want to touch that dark color that I just put on. I'm just going around the outsides of it. And now you have your dark brown. So now, after I have all of my dark colors on, I have my matte powders. So this doesn't have any color, or not any color. This does not have shimmer in it. So anything without shimmer is considered matte. And now I'm going to be using my shimmer color, which is my lid color, and I'm going to be going in with the shade So Good. It comes with this little thing. I kept it just in case I decided to do one of these, so then you guys know what shades I'm talking about. But if you lost this, don't worry. It's this shade right here. So the 1, 2, 3rd in from the left. And I'm just gonna circle around with my finger so I have a good amount. And then I'm just gonna press that onto my lid. Again, I'm not being super precise about this. If you guys don't feel like it's sanitary to use your hands, wash your hands before you do this, but you can use just like any brush. I would recommend this one, the Jaclyn Hill JH41 brush. That's a good packer brush, but you want to use just any packer brush that you think you can find. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other eye, and I'm just pressing that in. It's not any sort of like cut crease, fancy schmancy. I'm just dabbing that in, and then I'm going to take that same brush again, and I'm going to blend that line. So as you can see a straight line of where the glitter ends and the matte shadow starts. You want to blend that and make sure that those two shades really come together, because you don't want to see that line. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, just pouncing my brush where I see that line, which I stopped right about at the pupil line. That's just my personal preference. That's what goes the best with my eye shape. To achieve this look the way that you guys saw, that's just what I do. So that's me. You guys can do whatever you want. But I'm just pouncing that in right at the pupil line so that it looks just a little bit more blended in that smooth transition from the glitter to the smoky part. So, what's next? Okay, so now we are going to be doing the eyeliner portion. I do not use actual eyeliner. I use a dark brown. This is from ColourPop. It's very dirty, but that's because I use it all the time. You can get this at Ulta. You can actually achieve this entire look just by using this palette, but as you can see, I've used it a lot and I'm running out, so I wanted to try to avoid using two palettes, but it happens. Any dark brown shade works for this, like a dark brown, not black, not like the color that we used. The last one was here, but a little bit darker than that. And I'm gonna take just a flat eyeshadow brush. This is a packer brush, so this works perfectly for this. And you're just gonna dab a good amount on both sides of the brush in that darkest brown shade. Tap off the excess, and I'm just gonna close my eyes and go with the natural shape of where my eyes are. This is nice if you don't want, if we're being honest, if you're not that good at eyeliner. I'm not very good at eyeliner, and this is very user-friendly, and I'm just stamping it. I'm not smudging yet, I'm not doing anything like that. I'm gonna flip my brush and use all the amount that's on that back side and really just push it in. And that way you have the eyeliner. So next is the tail portion. This is where it gets a little tricky because normally I have no makeup on and I just do my eyeballs first. So we'll figure it out, but you're just gonna do one stamp there and you're just gonna pack it and just make swooping motions in towards your pupil line. That's a good base as to where I stop. This looks super messy as of right now, but I promise you when I'm done, it doesn't normally look this messy. So then I'm just gonna blend that. I'm gonna add just a little bit more because I feel like we're getting a little bit patchy. So right there. And now is gonna be where I kind of just blend it. I'm just being messy. And if it looks bad, slap on some eyelashes. Eyelashes fix everything, okay? So I'm gonna do this same thing on the other side and I'll be right back. Okay, now that both eyes are done, I'm gonna go in with that concealer that I was talking about earlier and just put like a tiny, tiny amount on the back of my hand. This is kind of like a trial and error type thing, so if it doesn't look good, we'll cut it out. But if it does, this is how you do it. So, to sharpen this up a little bit, and my eyeliner never looks the same on either side, so this is how we're going to attempt to fix it. You're gonna take that packer brush and literally just barely dab some of that concealer. I don't know why I forgot what I was saying. That concealer, and just dab it on the back of your hand. And as you guys can see, like I don't have that much on there. Excuse my spray tan hands, sorry. And then I'm just gonna clean up that line and really blend that into my skin. So that way, okay, that kind of worked. Cool, okay. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do that. Sick. And then just really blend it out. You don't have to use your finger, you can use a beauty blender, but I feel like I have more control over blending when I just use my finger. Again, wash your hands. You're going to do, I guess, the same thing on the other side. Cool. And really just flick that up towards A good stopping point is right at the end of your eyebrow. So that's what you want to do. And just blend it out with your fingers. But you don't look like you have just a stark white line right across your forehead. Okay. They're not sisters. They look more like cousins, but that's all right. No one is upset about that. So then you want to just take a makeup wipe and like get that off the back of your hands, because there have been way too many times where I have done that and gotten it on my clothes. And I have like a towel that I just put in my lap because, again, this has happened before and I get makeup all over myself. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in with that same brush from earlier. I'm not putting anything on it. I'm just going to go right where my eyeliner and that eyeshadow meets. I'm barely tapping, guys. Barely tapping. But I just want it to look blended. Just like that. I don't even know if this did anything, but I do it just to kind of make myself feel better about it. Because I have to blend. You have to. That's the key to a good eyeshadow look. Cool. Awesome. Now we're going to put on some mascara. So I'm just using drugstore mascara. This is the Colossal mascara from Maybelline, I think. Again, I've had this for so long that it just doesn't, I don't know if that even helps. I see all the YouTubers do that. Anyways, get on with it, Libby. This video is probably gonna be so long. So I'm just gonna go in with mascara. I like to roll my mascara onto my eyelashes. And if it gets on your, you obviously want to avoid it getting on your eyelid after all of that work that you just did. But if that does happen, don't freak out. Wait for it to dry and you can literally just scrape it off. But whatever you do, don't touch it while it's still wet, because then it will smudge. If you get mascara, it happens to me a lot right here. I'll do this exactly what I'm doing here, and if I'm not careful, I will get it right on my skin. And I'm like, okay, seriously, I just did all that work on my face and it's now all over. So you want to give a really generous amount, because I'm going to be doing eyelashes. This is totally optional. You guys don't have to do eyelashes. But mascara I would definitely recommend, because as you can see the difference between this one and this one, it just makes your eye look way more lifted. And it makes a smoky eye look a little bit more smoky because you can see your eyelashes. If I didn't wear eyelashes, good one. If I didn't wear mascara, I would look so tired. And if that's the look you're going for, go for it. But I am very tired, so I want to hide that. So I'm going to put on a good amount of mascara. Perfect. You want to be careful when you're in this area, because this is where things can go very south. You really want to get in there. Just like that. Cool. I think that's enough. Oh, your eyes are going to feel weird. That's okay. It's because you're poking in your eyeball. Don't touch your face. Jeez, there's so much to think about. Next, we are going to be doing eyelashes. So, I would recommend eyelashes from the drugstore. These eyelashes, I have them right here next to me so you can't see, but these are awesome. I wouldn't recommend these if you've never worn eyelashes. The Ardell Demi Wispies from like CVS, Target, Walmart, anywhere you can get them. I don't know about online because I know that there are some people. Eyelashes are not an essential, so you definitely don't need this, but hopefully when things are back to normal and we can go in stores and feel safe, then I would recommend doing that. But I keep them in my retainer case, so it's probably not the cleanest. You can use any kind of lashes that you want. Okay, I'm gonna be going in with those. Okay, so they look like this. And I'm just gonna, if this is for like my 2-a-day girls, if you guys have competitions, don't buy a new pair of eyelashes for another day. You don't need to do that. Just pick the glue off. That's what I do. It'll save your parents money, save you money, whoever's buying your eyelashes. We don't need to do all of that. So just peel off the glue. Make sure that you hold the bottom part of the eyelash before you go and rip all the glue off, or you're gonna rip your eyelashes out and you're gonna lose a lash extension. And that would definitely sting. So, I have my clean eyelash, clean as it'll get. And next I'm gonna go in with the Duo Glow, Duo Lash Glue, Duo Glow. This is the brush on adhesive. It looks like this. Again, you can get it at Walmart, Target, I think Sephora has it. Ulta, you can go anywhere and get this. And it just is like a brush applicator. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to brush that on the band of my eyelash from the back all the way to the inner corner. And I'm gonna put a pretty good amount. I feel like I like these better than the squirty tubes of lash glue, just because I feel like you have more control as to where the glue goes, how much glue you're using. And this one's color changing, so when it's on, it looks like a clearish, like a bluish color. You want to wait for your lashes to get just a little bit tacky, because that will help the longevity process of your eyelashes. I know for a fact my eyes water whenever I'm at competitions, 90% of the time because I'm crying, or just because my eyes water with the fans and the fog backstage, and just walking outside, my eyes get really watery, especially this time of year. So you want to get a good amount of glue on, and you want it to kind of dry just a little bit before you put it on your eye, so that way it sticks better. And then I'm just going to do the same thing, dust it on, dust it. I guess I'm painting, if I had to put a word to it. On, sorry, you can't really see. Right on that lash, from the front all the way to the end. Perfect. Close it or it will dry out. And I just set this anywhere. So now, this one's a little tacky. You don't want it to go completely clear, or the glue will be completely dry and you won't be able to use your eyelash, or you're gonna have to put more glue on, and that doesn't really help the lifetime of your eyelashes. I use my eyelashes a lot. So make sure all your hair is back if you don't want to glue your eyelash to your hair. I've done it so many times. And I'm just gonna take my eyelash and I'm going to close my eye a little bit and really push it right on top of my lashes. And I want to get them as close as I possibly can. Most eyelash kits come with little plastic tweezers. I wouldn't recommend using metal tweezers, but if that's all you have, just be really careful, especially if you're doing this on kiddos, or if you guys are doing. Okay, so as I was doing before, you're just going to then push and squeeze the eyelashes and your fake eyelashes together. You want to be really careful because tweezing your eyelid really hurts. So if you prefer to do this with your fingers, by all means do so. I probably should be, but I'm very precise about this part. And just like that. And then I like to take the back end of it and like pull them up, because eyelashes, especially for first time users, can be kind of heavy and they don't feel very natural. And then I'm gonna take my other one, same exact thing. Put that right on my eye, and I want to match it up with the end of my eye. For some reason, this eye is smaller than this one, so at times I have to trim my eyelashes. If right before you put your eyelashes on, you want to just put it on your eye to make sure that it fits. And if you have to trim it from the back side. So I'm just going to take this and place it right on top of my eyelashes. And I'm going to then take the tail end and place it right at the end of my eyelashes. Okay, and again, you can do this next step with your fingers. I like to make sure that all loose ends are covered. This one's lifting a little bit, but that's okay. I think it's just because of where I place it. Yep, it is. It's on. And so I'm then going to push in my eyelashes with my lash extensions, being very, very careful. Kids, I would not recommend you do this. I would have a parent help, or just use your fingers. And I'm going to take the back end and I'm going to push them together. Just like that. Almost done. Next step, we're gonna take that same brush and we're just going to put whatever eyeshadow is left underneath the eye. Again, this is just so that our under eyes, I don't know why I have to do this with my mouth to open and look up at my eyes. Does anybody else do that? I have to. When I'm doing mascara, my mouth is open. If I'm looking up doing this is what I look like. I don't even know what that is. But you're just going back and forth with that eyeshadow brush. I'm stopping right about here. So I don't want to drag it all the way in because I'm going to put highlight here. And so that way, as you can see, it's very little, but it helps. I would recommend it. This next part is completely optional. You can choose to do this, or you can be done right here, put some bottom mascara on and be done. I tend to do this, it's called tight lining. And it's just so, if you guys can see, you can see where my eye skin, that looked really creepy. You can see like the inside of my eye, and I don't want that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take the eyeliner and just draw on the top. I don't even have to look at myself anymore, I just do this so much. If you're doing this on kids, just have them close their eyes and just kind of like lift up a little bit. It's uncomfortable, which is why I said it's totally optional. But as you can see, you can't really see where the lash ends. So then I close it and kind of open my eyes so that way it gets a little bit on the bottom. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Just like that. I'm using a brown version of this. This is the Define Align Maybelline New York brownish black eyeliner pencil. I've used this brand since I was like 12. And then I'm gonna do the same thing on my waterline. Again, stopping right before that, I would stop like right here. Then I'm gonna take the end of it and just smudge it out, blend it out a little bit, not too much, but just enough to where it looks like that. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Perfect. I like to kind of clean it up a little bit because I have really watery, like, it's like opposite of my tear duct. I don't know what that part of the eyeball is called. Then I'm gonna take mascara and just blend my lashes together. And then I'm gonna go in with mascara on the bottom row, just like that. And then I'm all done. That's a lie. I'm not all done. Highlight. This is, again, totally optional. You could stop here. I know. I'm going to go in with that same palette, just for the purpose of not using 700 different things. And I'm going to go in with the shade On Front. Oh, Front? I don't know. I've used it so much, I don't know what it is. It's the one that looks like this. I swear there's eyeshadow in it. So I'm just going to pack into that. And I'm going to go in right here, right on my tear duct. And then I'm gonna go in on the other side, do the same thing. Just pat it in, and that's why we didn't want to bring that eyeshadow in, because you want to like flick it right underneath. This one got kind of smudgy, but that's okay. It's okay. And then I'm gonna take it again, and I'm gonna put it right on the top of my eyebrow. Right at the highest point. And I'm just gonna pack that, and I like to blend it out with my fingers so that it doesn't look so crazy. Now we're done. I hope you guys learned something from this. Post it and tag Tiffany's Cheer and Dance Studio. We'd love to see what you guys come up with. And I will see you guys soon. Bye.